Hey, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue, and we're going to talk about finding the exceptional in the ordinary. And today we're going to talk about Sarah Coventry because a viewer asked for it, and I've been keeping a list of all you guys' requests. Some of them I think are going to be a little bit of a challenge, like Jerry's. I don't know. We'll see what I can do. If I cannot complete it because there's just no really great ones, then I will just say so. But so today, Sarah Coventry was actually a little bit surprising. I knew a few of the higher dollar ones, but I found some more. So every time I do research for you guys, I learn stuff for myself. Sarah Coventry is something that, I think a lot of our parents and a lot of our grandparents had a lot of. They had home parties. I don't know if everybody knew that. I love finding the old Sarah Coventry at home buying party. You can still find the brochures and pamphlets and stuff at garage sales sometimes. I love that. It's like a little piece of history. Um, a lot of what I'm going to show you is in sets. However, we can find sets out there for cheap. We can pick up pieces and have the whole set. So, and if the set is the what's commanding the most money, then if we piece it apart, those pieces are probably the more valuable by themselves too. So let me share my screen. And again, I've been having a little trouble with the Zoom. Hopefully it works. And it doesn't ever work anymore. Hang on. Okay, so hopefully this works. And we're going to look at the very first one. This is not the highest. We're going to go backwards, but this is the Sarah Coventry Holiday Ice Brooch. Something you're going to notice as we look through all these is that the ones that are bringing the most money, the seller knew the name of the set. They knew the name of the collection. I try to do that with all of my Sarah Coventry pieces and all of my other pieces that I know have names. If we put the name on the set, then when people are, searching for that piece of that set that they're looking for, they will find yours versus somebody that said blue rhinestone Sarah Coventry, right? So try to find the names of your sets or your items. Here are the pieces. I've had parts of this set several times, and they do sell okay on their own. Sarah Coventry is a brand I'm always on the fence about listing alone because they just usually don't bring the money by themselves, but they do usually sell. So we just kind of have to make that call. I have noticed that in this particular set and a few of the other sets, the rhinestones get a little dingy colored, but the collectors must know that because they buy it anyway. So that was the first one. And then the Royal Highness set. I see this necklace is sold by itself in the similar range for pricing several times. So don't be afraid to pick it up. Don't be afraid to sell this one by itself, and I have. So it's a nice set. It's very well constructed, well put together. Look for wear on the texture gold tone pieces. Sometimes it does pick up some wear, but $70, not too bad. This is a convertible. There's two of these that we'll see that both could have been a necklace or a belt. So that's something we want to watch out for. The necklace and the belt, the ones that's convertible. I think I've had this before, and I think I didn't know that it could be a belt too. So my bad. Now I know, and now I have more knowledge to make more money later on. So that's what it's all about. So there's this one went for $75. This set is just cute, and I don't know that I've ever seen it or not, but um, it's the spring bouquet brooch and clip-on set. Do be careful in our title structure not to use those quotation marks, even though that's the name of the set, because search lots of times will just limit the what's inside of the quotation marks to the search. So if that's okay with you, go ahead and do that. But if not, don't do that. This is also on the nice original card. Very nice. See how they each have the corresponding catalog numbers to them. I love that. So this one is the seashell design. It is hard to photograph those. It's a bad color to try to photograph unless you have a black background to switch to. So there they have the measurements, and it brought $75 too. And so if you happen to be able to pick up the whole set for $5 at a garage sale, I would. These were the most interesting to me because I just saw these sell the other day and I could have had them for super cheap. I had no idea that these climbers would go for $75. So these are little ear covers. They have vinyl centers. See, they look like faux leather. I had no idea that these were this valuable. So I definitely would have picked these up. So what they look like from the back. These are in really good condition, which helps. But this was probably the most shocking one to me. Again, $75. We're like in a $75 rut. I'd much rather be in a $75 rut than my $24.99 toilet. So I'm going for it. Here's the Sarah Coventry gold plate cameo ring. Very nice. There are a few items of Sarah Coventry that are in fact gold plated. Not sure if I've had this one or not, but I'm not sure why we have the cameo pop out. I don't really know about that, but anyway, it sold for $75. This one is the Sultana Confetti. I've had the bracelet in this and the earrings, but as a set for $75, that's pretty darn good. Very hard to concentrate on the jewelry with the busy background. So notice that when you're trying to like and that's the backs. It's very hard to concentrate on the beauty of the jewelry with all that's going on. So just keep that in mind when we're doing photography. So there's 75. Again, I would be very careful using the commas too, because that can also limit search. I just picked this ring up for $2 the other day. It's the Sarah Coventry men's Roman soldier ring. I will have mine listed shortly. It brought $80. I'll probably start mine off at 85, 84.99. See what happens. And it is sterling, so that's good to know. So we've all seen this piece of Sarah. It's pretty plain, it's pretty ordinary, it's not very big. However, if you know that it's a book piece and then you can say it's a book piece, that, in my opinion, will help. If you have a picture of it laying on the book piece or on the page that it's shown in the book, I think it's even better. So I'm kind of a fan of that. This is just knowing what's featured in the books, knowing what's featured with the sets. Also, it says it's in the 50s, which this is in the 50s set. So it's also an early Sarah Coventry. So knowing your facts can help you get more money every time. That one sold for 85. I've had this set several times. It does sell really well. I've never put mine on auction, so I guess I'm not sure about that. But it is a nice, heavy quality set. I remember the first time I found it, I was shocked that it was Sarah Coventry. So $88. That's a nice price. This is a 25th anniversary brooch and earring set. I'm not sure I've ever seen this one before. If I have, it slipped by me and I didn't know it, but it went for $95.95. Kind of makes me wonder if it was either split, it could bring more money, or if maybe they didn't ask enough money, or maybe they were right on. I'm not sure because I haven't found it before, but that's a really nice, healthy price. Sarah Coventry watches can sell well. My son sells watches and he has told me that before. I've had this watch and a couple other ones before do really well. So pay attention to the Sarah Coventry watches. This is the Golden Versailles cuff, bracelet, and set. It does sell well. I've had this before. This one went for 117. I've sold just the bracelet for, close to 100. So make sure you watch out for that. It looks a lot similar to the Whiting and Davis set that is also called Versailles. Here is another belt. So this is a convertible one. It could be a necklace or a belt. I know I haven't seen this one, but it's really cool. It's very boho, very retro. It's in very nice shape. Again, knowing that was convertible is probably a good thing. So now we know too, and we can go get that $110 or whatever we want to set for it. This is definitely one of the higher end pieces in Sarah Coventry. I've always known to look for it. It sells pretty decent. This is a very healthy price for it though. So either it's going up a little bit or the person got lucky. I'm not sure what way that is. And maybe it's because they have the earrings too, and it appears to be in really nice condition. So $140 for that set. I just say this cautiously that I'm not sure that would always happen. But hey, good on them for getting that price. That's awesome. Usually anymore, I sell this for like 30, and these I would sell for 30. So maybe it's just having them together as a set that brought that value. This set, I'm only ever seen the brooch, and I probably would have parted this out just because it is pretty rare. It's called the Peacock Series, and it had the box, which is even more amazing. So this is great. I would love to come across this set. It has to be a little bit more rare, or I think I would have seen it more. And I don't know that I've ever seen it. So very nice set for this person. It sold for $145. They did show the imperfections, which is great. I sell jewelry with imperfections all the time. I just make sure I note them and show them clearly. This one, I pick this up every time I see it. It is the 5-year service pin. It is 10K solid gold. So if you didn't know that Sarah Coventry has things out there that are 10K gold, now you do. I've picked this pin up, I cannot even tell you how many times, for $3 to $5. People just don't know. So go snatch those up when you find them. This is not jewelry, but it is jewelry orient. I don't know that I would have known to pick this up either for this, especially for these prices. But it's the Sarah Coventry jewelry cabinet. Didn't even know there was such a thing. So it sold for $200, and there were several solds on eBay that were around that price range. So while that wasn't a great long video, I hope it will help people. I love knowing the things that I can find that maybe other people don't know to look for, that could bring that top dollar in those brands that we see laying around all the time. We find Sarah Coventry constantly. And I actually know a few eBay stores that only sell Sarah Coventry, and they do very well. So I'm definitely not a hater of Sarah Coventry. It's just starting not to meet my metric on a regular basis. But if it meets yours, that's awesome, especially when you can find them in really nice condition. They will sell. So make sure we're sourcing intently, guys. Make sure that we are making those informed decisions before we're purchasing our jewelry, especially when we're in auction type formats, whether it's online, whether it's high bid, or whether it's like Whatnot. I think Whatnot can be a great source. However, if we get caught up in the moment, we're just hitting that button, or if we're bidding on things because everything's going cheap, everything's $2 or $3, I guarantee you that adds up quick, especially with shipping. And if we end up with a bunch of cheap stuff that really was just cheap stuff, guess what goes in our store? Cheap stuff, right? We don't want to put ourselves in that position. If you don't have time to comp beforehand in a Whatnot show or an online auction, then do that research ahead of time. I'm telling you, that research before you're put yourself in those positions that's everything. That's everything to my business, is that I'm doing that research before I'm put under the hot seat. Do I still make mistakes? I'm sure I do. Do I make a whole lot less than I used to? Absolutely. So you need to make those mistakes sometimes and learn. Boy, if we can front load and get knowledgeable on our subject, and that's why we're just doing jewelry to people, those of us that just do jewelry, because we can be experts in our field. Do I consider myself an expert? I do not. Am I sure trying? I'm trying. It'll be years before I could ever call myself an expert, but I am sure trying to learn as much as I can along the way. I do research every single day. And if I didn't, I definitely wouldn't be as far along as I am. So I really appreciate you guys. Put in the comments, show me a brand that you'd like to hear about so that we can pull out those extraordinary out of the ordinary, because most brands have some outliers that we can look for and that we can snatch up cheap and then flip for a good profit. So thank you. Check out our Patreon at Reseller Revenue. We have an awesome community of people that meet every single day, Monday through Thursday together. We have a weekly jewelry call that we meet together. You can drop any jewelry questions, comments. We can get suggestions on our listings, our pricing, sourcing, all that good stuff with jewelry right inside our Facebook page every single day. So we really appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, it's Carrie with Reseller Revenue. Just wanted to come on and let you know if you'd like to see more of this, if you'd like to see more of my daily calls Monday through Thursday, and you'd like to participate, please go to Reseller Revenue Patreon group, and that's how you join our Facebook group also, is through that link. And you can join our morning calls, which we meet every day, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Time. And then we have other calls afterwards, like we have a shoe call, a clothing call. We have a bunch of different kinds of calls. Also, the jewelry call that I do with Finds of Yesterday is on Tuesday mornings following the morning call. And also, you can get information on how to get personalized one-on-one coaching for an additional fee from me. We'll review your store. We'll go through different ways you can improve your listings. So I'd love to have you. Please check out Resale Revenue on Patreon.